Welcome back to My Remy Live. Today we're doing something a little different. Instead of bouncing between random topics, we're doing a focused Reveg deep dive. This episode came straight out of the shop this week. A shout out to RIP.services. We got into a really good real conversation about revegging, genetics, and what actually makes sense for small growers. Those in-store conversations are usually what turn into the best My Remy episodes. So if you've ever wondered whether you can re-veg an entire plant, or whether you should, or whether it's better than keeping a mother plant, this episode is for you. Now, there's a really important pattern taking shape right now that home growers need to understand, and it's not coming from just one state, it's regional. In Maine, a new citizen-led ballot initiative was officially cleared to begin gathering signatures. The goal of that initiative isn't to tweak adult use cannabis or regulate it differently, it's to roll it back entirely. If that measure makes the ballot and passes, adult use cannabis would be phased out. And that includes the part of the law that allows everyday adults to grow their plants at home. Medical cannabis would still exist, but under tighter rules and more oversight. Quick shout out to Katie Fowler 80 for sending this my way just a few hours ago. This is exactly the kind of back and forth I hope all of you feel welcomed to be a part of. When you see something happening in your state, send it in. That's how we stay ahead of this stuff, because Maine isn't alone. In Massachusetts, there is also a citizen-led ballot effort underway aimed at repealing adult use cannabis, including home grow rights for the 2026 ballot. Organizers have already submitted signatures and are moving through the same process Maine just entered. So, this isn't hypothetical anymore. It's happening in multiple New England states at the same time. That's the tidal wave people are missing. Not raids, not crackdowns, ballots. Legal cannabis rights are not permanent just because voters approve them once. Ballot laws can be challenged and undone by new ballots. And when rules tighten or get rolled back, individuals absorb that risk long before corporations do. We've been talking about this pattern for weeks now. In PSA number 1, we said they might be coming for your genetics next. In another PSA, we showed how one rule change can quietly change everything. Maine isn't escalation, it's confirmation. When access starts to centralize, genetics stop being shared culture and start becoming controlled systems. What used to be normal becomes licensed, restricted, and permission-based. The real debate isn't whether people will still grow. People always will. The real question is who can grow legally without fear of losing housing, work, or stability. And for a lot of people, that includes growing medicine for themselves or loved ones. That's why awareness matters. Not panic, awareness. All right, well, let me pause for a second. I already see a few people jumping on now. Appreciate y'all being here. If you are watching live, drop where you're watching from, and I'll try to shout out a few of you as we go. What's up, everybody? Hi, Mom. Hilarious81, Eat Your Hash, F1 Genetics, what's up? Danko Crumbs, Baking NCA, Twiggleson, Mohammed. Awesome, guys. Thank you so much. So, all right, before we get into the question, I want to show everyone how we actually use My Remy, because a lot of people still ask, what is it and where to find it? So for anyone new here, My Remy is our AI grow assistant, okay? In theory, it's scoured the internet for just about every piece of grow knowledge out there, old information, new information, studies, forums, guides, and we've trained it to understand grower language so it doesn't get confused about what you're trying to do or what you're talking about. This is exactly what we use every week on the show and in the shop. So you can access it. I'll turn the camera around. You can access it right here at our website, gzgrowshops.com, totally free, 24/7. You can click on Learn How It Works, and on the screen you'll see all the various past episodes of My Remy. But let's get right into it. Let's launch the My Remy, and instantly the browser comes up. So, all right, I'm going to flip the camera back around and enter our first question into My Remy. I will speak it into My Remy.
Hey there.
Let's see. That might not work. We'll copy paste it, okay? All right, the question is, My Remy, Can you re-veg an entire plant after harvest? Why would someone do it? And when does re-vegging actually make sense for a home grower? We will paste that right in and we will await our answer. Okay, well, short answer. Yes, you can re-veg an entire plant after harvest, but it's not always worth it. Let's break it down clean and practical. Can you re-veg a whole plant after harvest? Yes, as long as you leave some healthy lower growth and buds behind when you harvest. The plant can revert back to vegetative growth. What happens? You switch the light back to 18 or 24 hours on. New growth starts looking weird at first. Single blade leaves, twisted shoots. After a few weeks, it normalizes and grows like a veg plant again. Key requirements: you can't chop it to a bare stump. You need green tissue and living bud sites. Number 2, why would somebody re-veg a plant? Well, people do it for a few legit reasons. Number 1, to preserve a keeper genotype, right? You found a fire pheno and you didn't take clones. Well, re-veg equals a second chance to clone it. Number 2, save time on genetics. You have the same root system, equals faster rebound than starting from seed, especially useful if seeds are limited or expensive. Number 3, monster cropping, which is a side benefit. Re-veg plants often grow bushy and wild. Tons of branching equals lots of future bud sites. And number 4, a small grow. This is a big value. One plant doing multiple runs in a tent or closet, good for tight plant count limits. When does re-vegging actually make sense for a home grower? This is the most important part. Re-veg makes sense if you grew a standout plant you really want again, and you forgot to take clones. That happens, right? You're limited on plant count, you don't mind waiting 3 to 6 weeks for it to fully revert, and you enjoy experimenting and learning. It usually doesn't make sense if the plant was just okay, you already have clones or seeds ready, you want fast turnaround, and the plant was stressed, sick, or weak at harvest. For most home growers, starting fresh is faster and cleaner unless the plant is special. How do you do it? The simple version: harvest the top buds only, leave the lower buds and healthy leaves, switch lights to 18 to 24 hours on, feed like veg newts, lighter N at first, and be patient. Ugly phase is normal. Expect 2 to 3 weeks of confusion, then boom, new veg growth. All right, so real talk grower advice. Re-vegging is a tool, not a default move. If you're chasing consistency and speed, clone first. If you found a unicorn and forgot, re-veg saves the day. If you want, and then my Remy goes on to explain to you that we can deepen this conversation. So, all right, well, that lines up with what we see in real life. Yes, you can re-veg an entire plant, but that doesn't automatically make it a good idea. Re-vegging works because the plant never stops being alive. If you leave enough healthy growth and return it to a vegetative light cycle, it can restart vegetative growth. Most people consider re-vegging for 3 reasons. They find a standout phenotype late, they want to preserve genetics without keeping a dedicated mother, or they're working with limited space. Where people get into trouble is treating re-veg like a shortcut. It isn't. You're asking a plant to reverse its entire hormonal state. That takes time, patience, and stability. All right, let me pause there. I'm seeing a whole bunch of more people hop on board here. New England, Twiggleson, Shaq Fu, Lewis Leaf, Christopher Jam, Cucks Growing, Cody's Beans, wow. Dog, Demento, Hidden Potential Genetics, David George 82, Matt the Plant Ward. What's up, Matt? Awesome. EF Farms. All right, well, I'm going to put this next one into my Remy. Okay, the question is re-vegging a harvested plant better or worse than keeping a dedicated mother plant? What are the trade-offs? That's a great question. Let's see what my Remy has to say. Well, the short answer first, grow room honest. A dedicated mother plant is better for consistency and speed. Re-vegging a harvested plant is better for recovery and flexibility. Neither is wrong. They solve different problems. Here's how to think about the trade-offs, like a home grower, not a commercial facility. All right, dedicated mother plant, best for repeatability and momentum. The pros, instant clones anytime. No weird growth phase, normal leaves, normal vigor, predictable results run after run, less stress on the genetics long-term, faster overall cycle if you grow continuously. Some cons of a dedicated mother plant. Well, it takes extra space and light. It needs ongoing care, feeding, pruning, pest control. It counts as a plant, which is important for plant limits, and you're committing to that strain long term. It's best for growers running perpetual cycles, anyone who already clones, dialed tents with enough room, and this strain is staying forever genetics. Re-vegging a harvested plant. Okay, that is best as a save move or a space hack. So the pros of re-vegging a harvested plant. No extra plant kept alive ahead of time, okay? You had no plants in the pipeline. You want to save a genotype when you forgot to clone. You have the same root system, which will, in theory, equal a stronger rebound once it gets going. Another pro often creates a very bushy structure, monster cropping, and useful in low plant count situations. Some negatives of re-vegging. A slow reset. It's a 2 to 6 weeks of awkward growth. Single blade leaves, twisted shoots at first, normal but ugly. High stress, okay? Slightly higher herm risk if mishandled. Not every plant rebounds equally well, and it's less predictable in terms of timing. It's best for, oh shit, this plant is fire moments, or limited space or legal plant caps, experimental or learning grows, and growers who don't mind waiting. Okay, so we have a little side-by-side reality check. What's faster? Speed to clone. Well, mother plant is going to beat out re-vegging. Re-vegging wins on space needed, as there is no space required. Okay, so here's the real grower truth. Most home growers don't need a mother all the time. Here's a good hybrid approach, okay? What I see work most. Keep a mother only for proven keepers. Re-veg only when you find a surprise winner or mess up cloning. If you're running 3 to 6 plants in a tent, one small mother beats re-vegging every cycle. If you're running 1 to 2 plants or rotating strains, re-veg occasionally makes more sense. So bottom line, you want efficiency, speed, and repeatability? Mother plant. You want flexibility, low commitment, and saves? Re-veg. Want to be smart? Use both, but only when they actually serve you. Okay, well, that is where growers need to be honest about their own setups. A dedicated mother plant is about consistency and speed. Growth is predictable, stress is minimal, and you always have cuts ready. Re-vegging is slower and messier. The plant looks strange at first. Growth can be irregular, but it lets you save genetics after you've already seen the final result. If you have space and long-term plans, a mother plant usually makes more sense. If you're limited on space and discover something special late, re-veg can be the right tool. Neither option is better. Across the board, they solve different problems. All right, so I'm seeing some more faces jump on here. Self-employed, Stan, AB215. Oh, here's a question. EF Farms, we cut clones right before flower. No mother room, clone room, just into flower room and cut clones, then right back into veg. That's the classic. Cut the clones right before flower. Sure, that's cool too. So no mother, no re-veg, cutting clones right before flower. There you go. Good system. Whoops. Who else? EF Farms, Stulius, IB from Connecticut. We have a sweepstakes winner on board. What's up? Divisa, the Fido Hunters. All right. Monster cropping. Yes, re-veg gives you that monster cropping bush. Mass Cappy joined. Awesome. Okay, well, last piece of this, I'm going to run this final question through my Remy. Does the stress of re-vegging reduce quality, yield, or stability over time? Or is that mostly myth? We will enter that into my Remy and await our answer. Oh, the Pheno Hunter's dropping a new track tonight. Y'all want to check him out. Worth a follow. Very creative. Love your work. And that outdoor front yard garden thing is fire. All right. A wonder of the world, I would say. Okay, here we are, guys. Short answer. Re-vegging itself does not inherently reduce quality, yield, or genetic stability. What does cause problems is stacked stress and sloppy handling, not the act of re-vegging. So it's mostly a myth, with a few important caveats. Quality, terpenes, potency, bag appeal. If done correctly, no meaningful loss compared to clones or a mother plant. Why? Genetics don't wear out from re-vegging. The plant fully resets hormonally once it's back in normal veg. Flower quality is determined by final flower conditions, not past stress. Where people get burned: flowering too soon after re-veg, poor nutrition during the awkward re-veg phase, and light stress while the plant is confused. Result of bad handling equals weaker aroma or smaller buds. But that's grower error, not re-veg damage. Yield. This one surprises people. Re-vegged plants can yield the same or more than normal clones. Why? They have an established root system, explosive branching, that's the monster cropping effect, more tops once trained properly. When yield does drop, you rush it back into flower. You don't prune that weird growth, and the plant never fully normalizes leaf structure. Rule of thumb, if it looks like a proper veg plant again, it's ready. If it still looks alien, stability. Here's a herm risk, weird traits. This is where the rumors come from and where nuance matters. Re-veg does increase stress, but one clean re-veg equals low risk. Multiple stress events equals high risk. Re-vegging a already stressed plant, red flag. Herm risk goes up when you stack heavy defoliation plus re-veg, or light risk. Light leaks plus re-veg, or heat stress and re-veg, or poor genetics and anything. So an important distinction here. Re-veg doesn't create instability. It reveals instability already in genetics. Re-vegging multiple times, okay, this is where returns start to diminish. 1 re-veg, generally safe. 2 re-veg, doable, but watch closely. 3+ cycles, not recommended for home growers. Okay, at that point, you will start to see slower recovery, less uniform growth, higher chance of odd traits, not worth the time versus starting fresh. All right, the grow room truth. People blame re-vegging when the real issue is impatience, poor environment, bad genetics, or trying to push a tired plant too far. A healthy, well-fed plant that's allowed to fully reset will perform just fine. When re-vegging isn't a good idea, skip it if the plant hermed already, if it was nutrient deficient late in flower, it finished under major stress, it was meh to begin with. Re-veg should be for winners only. Bottom line, re-veg does not magically ruin quality. Yield can match or exceed normal runs. Stability depends on genetics and how gentle you are. Rushing is the real killer. Okay, well, re-vegging does stress a plant. That part is real. What matters is how the plant recovers. Stable environment, proper nutrition, patience. Where quality drops is when people rush it, overfeed it, or try to flower again too quickly. Re-veg doesn't ruin plants. Poor recovery management does. So here's the real takeaway. Re-vegging isn't a hack, isn't a trick. It's a preservation tool. If you understand why you're doing it and give the plant time to reset, it can be incredibly useful. If you treat it like a shortcut, it usually backfires. All right, let me read through some of these comments here. EF Arms, yeah, we've had to cut clones 3 weeks into flower and they re-vegged in the Aero cloner and no difference at all. There you go. So you're not seeing the twisted, curly, alien-looking plants going just 3 weeks into flower. It's a good question. When does that tipping point happen? It's all hormonal based, I imagine. Make sure your plants are healthy for flower before flipping and you'll be good. I think my Remy confirming that a stressed plant and re-vegging, red flag, city. So yeah, healthy plants, great tip there. Thank you, Pheno Hunters, with the great info comment. Self-employed Stan, you want some fun clone and almost finished flowering cut. That's making seeds. Okay, that's an interesting one. We stress EF Farms again coming in with we stress all plants prior to first flower to see if they carry the herm trait. That doesn't mean we cull them. We just know now that we can't stress that pheno. Information is power. My Remy agreeing with you. If your plant has hermed, is stressed out already, looked sick, do not re-veg that plant. Thank you for your contributions there, EF Farms. The Pheno Hunters, the growers does. Thanks for the lesson, Twiggleson. Thank you, you're welcome. EF Farms, oh, we got aliens. LOL, the flower is just identical. Awesome. Well, guys, I appreciate everyone hanging out tonight. If you've got questions for next week's My Remy, drop them on the replay and tag them as questions for next week so I know to save them. And if you haven't checked out gzgrowshops.com, My Remy is there for you 24/7, totally free. We've got guides, live shopping, and real support for growers. If you're local, we are a 7,000 square foot mom and pop shop right here in Worcester. Come say what's up. Real growers, real talk, no fluff. We'll see y'all next week. Peace, everybody.